Yeah. I don't know if you saw the article that I posted on my Facebook page this morning, but I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 nurses at Newton Wellesley Hospital, which is in Massachusetts, my home state. They all have brain tumors, all working in the same department. And I have thoughts about that that I'm going to share with you. Sorry, there's a lot of potholes in my driveway. And we had like 3 inches of snow last night and then pouring rain this morning. So super slushy. So I decided to take the RAV to work. So before I give you my theories about the brain tumors in those poor nurses, I'm Dr. Patty Barch. I'm a traditional naturopath, founder and owner of Naturally Unbridled Wellness and naturallyunbridled.com, where we focus on wellness solutions, not disease management. This is Down the Ridge with Dr. Patty. This is not medical advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. Nothing I say is true. Don't listen to me. All right. I'm just going to give you some information. Process it however you see fit. Oh gosh, now it was probably 2 years ago. I've lost track of time, but there was a period of time within the past 4 years that something like 12 or 14 medical doctors in Canada, I think they were all in the Toronto area, all keeled over unexpectedly. And the only one of them was over 40. He was like 40 or early 40s. The rest of them were in their 20s and 30s. And some of them were like triathletes, right? All just keeled over, swept under the rug. Now we have a situation at Newton Wellesley Hospital in Boston, or outside of Boston, where 8 to 10 nurses have developed brain tumors. And I thank you to my friend that sent me the article, and then I dug deeper to read more about it. And they had the EPA because they're like, all right, this is a cancer cluster, which is a thing when a whole bunch of people in a small area all develop cancer. They'll typically do some environmental investigating. So they sent the EPA in to do some testing, and they didn't find anything in the environment that could be causing cancer. So I'm sure they were looking for like toxins in the air, and maybe they were looking at radiation or electromagnetic fields. Who knows? And maybe right outside that nurse's station on the edge of the building, there's a cell phone tower. We don't know. That's something that should be considered. However, something that we've talked about a little bit, but have to be careful, is the medical interventions that a lot of people got. Who got them first? Remember? The frontline people, right? So the first people to get them were the medical staff, police, fire, EMTs, all of that stuff, right? So the medical people got them first. So they are the canary in the coal mine. Now, keeping in mind that, as I've mentioned before, but maybe you're new here, there was tremendous batch-to-batch variability in these products because they were made under an emergency situation that allowed them to not have to follow good manufacturing practices, GMP practices. So they were able to produce these products quicker and with more contaminants, less purity than would ordinarily be required. There's definitely batch-to-batch variability. There's also manufacturer-to-manufacturer variability. For example, the P version has 10 micrograms of, I'll call it payload in the intervention, and the M version has 100 micrograms. in the M version, or is it 30? Shoot. 30 and 100? Yeah. Sorry, it's been a while since I talked about those numbers. P has 30 micrograms, and M has 100. Anyway, that in and of itself, one intervention with the P kind is like one intervention, I'm messing this up today. One intervention with the M kind is like getting 3 of the P kind. Okay? A little more than that. So, why are we concerned about brain tumors? Well, as discussed in prior episodes, the fat envelope, I'm trying not to use their words. I'm still on probation with the Red Video company, and I am for the rest of the month, so I'm trying to not get myself in trouble here. But the fat envelope that carries the payload, so in the vial there's a liquid, in the liquid there's the payload. The payload is wrapped in a fat particle. The payload is the recipe for the pointy protein. The fat particle is well studied for crossing the blood-brain barrier. In fact, it has been used to transport chemotherapy across the blood-brain barrier because they have a very difficult time getting chemotherapy to brain tumors, and brain tumors are hard to operate on as well. So they know that this little fat envelope that they put their payload in crosses the blood-brain barrier. What does it do when it gets there? It delivers the payload. What is the payload? It is the genetic recipe to produce an inflammatory protein. When the fat envelope crosses the cell membrane, which it does, it brings with it the recipe for your cells, hijacks your cells to make this inflammatory protein. And there's also been well-documented science that there are contaminants with specific sequences in the payload that are linked to cancer. We've already seen a lot of breast cancer, pancreatic cancer, colon cancer, and now we're seeing brain tumors. I'm concerned. Now, a lot of people ask about getting it out. Like they took it, they didn't want it, or they did want it, but they didn't know better, and now they're like, I gotta get that out. Getting the genetic payload out of your body is I'm not going to say it's impossible, because I don't believe it's impossible. But once it's woven its way into your genetic code, that's a challenge. You will see, and the people who have been paying attention for a long time and are following the right people on social media, you will see detox protocols. I have a detox protocol on my website. It's called the COVAX bundle. These detox protocols do not get the genetic payload out of your body. None of those do. What they help your body to do is to get rid of the end product, the pointy protein that your cells have been hijacked into making. So, yes, you can definitely work on reducing inflammation in the body. Definitely work on breaking down and excreting those proteins. The genetic component, getting that genetic code out of your cellular DNA, that's a lot more challenging. One last thing about this situation in the Newton Wellesley Hospital. These nurses were on the maternity ward, which I'm not hospital fluent, so I don't know if that's like exactly labor and delivery or like postpartum or what it is. However, I imagine these nurses at some point are also involved in childbirth. The nurses that work in labor and delivery were paying close attention during the rollout of the intervention because they were seeing premature babies, stillborn babies, failure to thrive babies, and placentas that were jacked up. Why were they jacked up? Because the pointy protein has an affinity, meaning it loves the ACE2 receptor, which is rampant in blood vessels, and the placenta is a bed of blood vessels. So that pointy protein having a negative interaction on the blood supply to the developing baby, I think that could be problematic. I don't know. Anyway, that's just something that hit my radar today. If you haven't seen the article, you can go over to my Facebook page. If it's Ghost, what do they call it? Shadow Band. You can just do an internet search for WBZ. That's the news station. W, B as in boy, Z as in zebra. And then type in Newton, Newton, hospital, brain tumor. And you'll find that, okay? Peace out, peeps. Have a healthy day and make healthy choices.